Hello, everybody. We want to welcome to the African Beat.
and Caribbean Heat Podcast.
It's your boy, Badolas, aka Talama.
And I am Queen Teah. Welcome back to our podcast.
Welcome, guys. We appreciate you guys.
Yes. How you doing today?
Good. How you doing? It's a beautiful day.
Was it a beautiful day?
Mhm.
I don't think so. It was
Ra-
cold and rainy today.
I love when it rains though. Like, it makes
Yeah.
it cool.
Yeah, fall is definitely here with the coldness and the rain. I'm just over it already. And it's just started.
Yeah, it's the weather's getting crazy to the level of snow. The other day I was going to work and it was snowing ice and I was running from
Are
it
you
like,
serious?
yeah,
Oh
it was
no.
raining ice. I'm like,
I
running
don't
from it
like
like,
that.
yeah, shit.
I'm hoping that the snow holds off until like January.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I mean, like, so I don't mind the cold. Like, I like when it's cool. Like, in the low 70s, upper 60s, I like that. You can wear like
Yeah.
a light jacket or something. But once it starts getting like really cold, and what I don't like is the wind chill. Like that wind that blows when it's really cold. Oh my gosh, I do not like that at all.
Crazy. And
It is, yeah.
and then it makes everywhere cold.
You
Yeah.
you can never get warm. At least for me, like if my fingertips and my toes are cold,
Yeah.
my whole body is cold, so I have to try to keep those warm so I can be
Yeah.
comfortable. So what are we talking about today?
We're talking about courting today.
Okay.
Yeah. So talk about women like we get a lot of people saying that men don't court. So today is about why some women are complaining that men don't court.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, courting. It's a rare art form. You don't really see it a lot in today's culture. So I'm curious to know from you your perspective, like when you think of the word courting, when it comes to like relationships or pursuing relationships, like what comes to mind for you when you think of courting?
Courting is like it's a olden thing that we
Mm-hmm.
used to use or our fathers used
Mm-hmm.
to make a woman feel comfortable, like make her uh, feel that you're a man and you're a gentleman, and make her feel happy so that she can give you the opportunity to get to know you
Okay.
and date you,
Yeah.
where you might spend money, you might open doors for her,
Mm.
you might buy her flowers, you might
Yeah.
surprise her with a teddy bear,
Ooh, how
depending
cute.
on what she likes, just to
Yeah.
make her happy and
Mm.
appreciated and so that she can be able to feel comfortable to date you.
Interesting.
What about you? What do you think about that in a woman perspective?
Yeah, when I think of like courting in the traditional sense, um, I think of like the man pursuing the woman. So you see a woman, a young lady that you like, and you want to get to know her. So you may approach her and just like strike up a little conversation with her to get to know who she is, her name, and stuff like that. And then like let her know that you're interested. Like I love to take you out, for dinner or whatever the case may be. So yeah, like those small gestures, like bringing her flowers and a teddy bear, or if you're picking her up, you're opening the car door for her and making sure that she gets in okay and shuts her door. As you're entering in a building, you're opening and holding the door for her to let her walk in first. You're pulling her chair to let her sit down. Yeah, but it's to me, it's like chivalry. It's like, you are doing all the things to show her that you're interested in her, you find her attractive, and hopefully you can have the connection go to a different level. Um, and for some women, like, you know, it's something that you have to do continuously for them to like feel comfortable with you. And like in the courting stage for me, it's like you're getting to know the person. It's like a job interview, to be honest. That's how I look at it. Like we're on a job interview. Like I'm asking you questions to see like, if the things you want in life, as far as like relationships and stuff like that, family values, core values like that, like if they align with mine. And if they do, then okay, then maybe we can kind of continue on and see like where things can go. So I think when I think of courting in the traditional sense, is like, you're you're applying for a job and hopefully you get the job to get hired to be a boyfriend that leads to a husband. So that's what I look at
But is
for
it the
that.
same mentality at 21st century?
I mean, I
Oh,
think there's still some components in like in modern dating where like it is like a job interview, but I think that and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but being a woman who has been courted before, I kind of get the feeling and sense from some of the men that I've you know dated, like gone out on dates with before, that they do all of these acts because there's ulterior motive. Like
mm.
there is something that they want from me, and y'all already know what it is. So, so they're doing all the things, they're saying all the things. And one of the things I used to do when I would date, and a guy would ask me like, what are you looking for in a guy? I made the worst mistake by
Mm.
telling them exactly what it was that I wanted.
Makes it easy.
It makes, yes, exactly. So women, listen to me, sisters, listen, okay, listen to me. If a man asks you what it is you're looking for in a relationship or a husband, you do not, I repeat, you do not give him the answers to the question on the test. Try to make it as generic as possible. And it's twofold, right? Because to your point,
Mhm.
if you give him the answers to the test, guess what? He's going to show up in that way. So he's going to do all the things that you say you want. And then it's going to make you feel like, okay, like he really likes me, or he
Mhm.
really is trying to go there with me. And then you open up yourself emotionally and physically to him. And then once he has attained what he wants, then things change. Now he has the power, right? But then also, too, you're not putting restrictions on the guy.
Mhm.
So you're allowing him to kind of show up authentically the way how he is. And then you can observe him
Mhm.
without, like, at least for me, without any pressure, without any expectations. And then you can just kind of monitor how he um, interacts with you in the courtship. And then you get to determine if this is the caliber of man you want to deal with at that level. What do
Yeah.
you think about that?
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, if because most girls, you ask them like, what are you looking for in a man,
Mm,
and they tell you depends, and then they ask you back
yeah.
what you looking for. If you're a smart guy, you tell her it depends also,
Hey.
and then you can figure out how to get what you want, right?
Mhm.
Because the funny part is that the lady will never tell you her age. They don't like telling their age.
Mhm.
So the same way a guy doesn't like telling you what he wants.
Oh goodness.
So what I do, is I say like I'm open.
Okay.
I'm open to anything.
Open to anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that makes it more easy for you too.
Hey, to still get what you want, right?
Yes.
Why do you think that some women, whenever a guy asks them, like, how old are you? And a lot of times the women will respond, well, how old do you think I am? Right. Just kind of put the question back on the guy. But why do you think a lot of women sometimes are apprehensive to tell men like what their age is?
I feel like to me, I might be wrong, I might be right. I feel
Hmm.
like women's um always want to be young,
Okay.
forever 21.
First one.
So when they get older, they
Hmm.
feel like they're in a struggle with the younger girls.
Okay.
So and a guy, they know that guy can talk to young and older, right?
Hmm.
So when a guy is asking her that age, she don't know the age of the guy. So
Okay.
she might like the guy. She might be like, let's say 40,
Hmm.
and she likes the guy, and the guy look, black don't crack.
Hey.
And she might be thinking this guy might be like 35, 38, 39. So she don't want to tell the guy I'm 40, and the guy like, you too old for me,
Oh
kind of a
goodness.
stuff.
Oh
And
goodness.
because women don't like to be said no or like put down on.
Well, nobody does.
We get that all the time.
But y'all don't. Not to say y'all like. Do y'all
We,
like being
we,
put
we
being
don't we,
rejected?
we don't like being
That's what I'm saying.
rejected,
Nobody likes it.
but we we're used to, we keep doing it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if we took it the way that we don't like being rejected, we ain't getting talked to no gay again.
Listen.
We're gonna be home and home by ourselves.
Right.
So women don't like being rejected,
Sure.
so they try to avoid all the ounces of being rejected, right?
Okay.
So that's why they don't want tell a guy the age, so they give us the power to like to guess what her age is. And then
Mm.
if you smart guy, you guess lower. She might be
Eh.
40, you tell her she look like 25.
Well, don't lie to her now.
No, it's not lying. It's guessing, right? So you want to
Okay.
guess right. You don't want to. She look 40. You tell her, oh, I think you're 120 20 years old. And that date is done. She's like, you know what? You have a good night, sir.
I feel like in those instances, instead of the men saying like she looks younger,
Mhm.
you should say like give her the opposite. Like, how old you think I am? Well, I think you're like 52, right? I just because I don't think that they would expect that. I think like to your point
Yeah.
when you talk about like oh like they ask you like well, how old do you think I am, and then you're like saying age that you think is lower or younger than what she
Mhm.
really is as like a compliment to her.
Yeah.
I would just flip it because to me that would show like your personality and like you're witty and I like to laugh. So I think for a lot of
It's a
women,
50-50 though.
you're right, and but you never know. You never know if it's going to land or if it's going to like miss.
Mhm.
But it's a chance you take in that answering the question in that way. But I think for women, I agree with you that as women we understand that majority of men value youthfulness in women. So a lot of women are not um, upfront with disclosing their true age because they don't want to be rejected because the guy thinks that oh she's too old, and then also too like when you're on a date with someone or you're like kind of like in the courtship and like say for example the guy is wanting children, so like if he
Mhm.
doesn't have any kids or if he already has kids and he wants more children, if you disclose like you're anything over 30, in his head he's calculating like okay like well can she give me
Mhm.
children, and which to me I understand like that's just kind of the thought process for some men. They automatically go to like well can she conceive, is she able to give me more kids, whatever the case may be. um it's like you're already like discrediting her because of her age.
Mhm.
But I also like again I understand like that's kind of the thought process for some men, but I think it's just don't want to be judged because especially like if you're in your 30s as a woman and like you're not married or you don't have any kids, like automatically there's all these like um unfortunate like
Mhm.
judgments
Yeah.
that people will put on them like okay well why haven't you been married by now, why don't you have any kids, and you start kind of going down a road you don't want to go to as far as answering those questions. And I don't really feel like it's appropriate on a first date to like kind of get that deep into like why haven't you found a spouse or why haven't you had kids, like well why haven't you hit the lottery.
Yeah. But women do that too. They ask you why you single. And then you tell
Hmm.
them I'm single because I'm looking. She's like, and then she's like, why are you really single?
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
I just answered
Well, I think,
it.
and that question to me can be a trap. It
Yeah, it's like,
depends. Like it just depends on the nature of the conversation, and like I guess for me, if I had like a word of advice for people that are, trying to kind of get around to that question, I would probably ask the person like, so like, what things did you learn from your previous relationship?
mhm,
Because like, if you ask me like, why are you single? I mean, well, I'm working on myself, or my ex was this, or and it's just like, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I just want to know that um whatever the previous situation was, like, for whatever reason, y'all are not together, obviously, because we're on a date
mhm,
right now. So, like, I'm just curious to know, like, what did you learn from your previous relationship and what you're hoping to achieve or to do in your future relationship? That's what I care more so about.
yeah,
Um, but that's just kind of like the historical thing when it comes to like courting and
yeah,
just like the man pursuing the woman and all of
mhm,
that stuff now. But as we look at like modern dating here, in the United States, I can assume in other parts of the world, like dating may look a lot different now
yeah,
than it did back in the day.
yeah,
So let's talk about like current dating and courting. So we hear quite often
mhm,
that men are not courting women
yeah.
in today's society. So I'm just curious to know why you feel that may be the case.
Like b- before I can go there, I want to like add a little something
Yeah,
to
yeah.
it.
Hmm.
Like back in the days when like our fathers it used to be like men will wrestle. for a woman. Like
Okay.
two guys will be wrestling for one lady, and
Ooh.
she'll be sitting down,
Yes.
and they got like maybe 10 guys, and each are wrestling,
Yes.
and
Fight
whoever
for me.
beats as in wins those 10 or 20 guys will marry that lady,
Yes.
right?
Fight for me.
So each time they have a community like event of that, maybe like once a month
Okay.
or once in 3 months, and they will
Mhm.
get the most beautiful ladies in the community,
Yeah.
and the guys will wrestle, and whoever wins would be with that girl,
We need to
right?
bring back those days.
So men's from origin always try to prove or try to fight to get a woman,
Okay.
meaning courting
Mhm.
and spending. Some it got to that level now. Men spend. You
Okay.
want a woman, you gotta spend.
Yeah.
You gotta take her. You gotta buy her flowers. You gotta buy her car, like cards.
Mhm.
It costs money, and if
Okay.
you're broke, you can't do it, right? So courting, that's how courting is transitioning, right?
Mhm.
Till now, there's no more courting. I mean, not 100%, right?
Mhm.
But there's more guys not courting no more because now the ladies, it used to be you court a lady for her value, right? Now the value is down, where you have a lady, her body count is so high, the age is so high,
Oh my God.
you know. So some guys are like, why am I courting her when everybody, when the body count is high? Let me go get it, right? Let me tell her what I want. If she's interested, fine. If not, there's another girl. Because
Mhm.
guys have realized that there's more population of women than men.
There is.
If every guy that's straight can get, like, they want to divide the ladies to the guys that are straight,
Mhm.
each guy in this world will get up to not less than 17 girls. Like one guy times by how many men's in the world, right?
Mhm.
So guys are realizing there's more women and there's less guys because some guys are in prison. There's more women in birth. Some guys are gay, and stuff
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
So guys are realizing that, and then realizing that ladies have so much body count, right? And the value depreciates down. So
Mhm.
guys, and then social media helps too because now you can get girls easily. You know what I mean? You just chat 1 or 2 nights, 3, 4 nights,
Mhm.
boom, 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 she's at your
Mhm.
place.
Mhm.
And nobody likes to suffer.
Mm.
Nobody likes to work hard for something that they know that there's no future for, right? So a girl used to be like, you see a girl, right? You know that the guys know if they're gonna have a relationship with this girl or is it gonna end in bed, right? You know that from the top of your mind. So sometimes for you to get that, you gotta court too. We call it short-term courting, right?
Oh my God.
Where you do that to get what you want and then you move to the next girl, right? So now we don't do that short. We do, listen, this is what I want. You good? If you're good, not good, next girl. Now, if we see that you have value, right? That you have low body count and you have a lady of value, we court.
Mhm.
That's when we court, right? Because we see value. So courting comes with value.
Interesting.
If I don't see a value, I will not call you. I will say, listen, I like what you got. Let's do this. I got a drink at home, watch a movie, boom, boom, boom. That's it. You good? You bad? You don't want
Oh
it?
my
I
gosh.
move to the next game. Guys are realizing that they have more options now. One, you can get a girl in a bar,
Mhm.
you can get a girl in social media,
Mhm.
you can get a girl in dating site. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You can even pay. So you have so many options according to your level,
Yeah.
right? And nowadays they don't do age and like having fun. You could be a guy in 30s and you meet a woman at 55
Mhm.
and she's been home single for years
Mhm.
and she feeling the little itch
Mhm.
and you and her talk and boom, 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 it happens, right?
Okay.
So it creates a way that you don't have to work hard for the cookie because everything ends in the cookie, right? And after the cookie, that's when the result comes out.
Mhm.
Because no relationship starts without getting the cookie. No marriage starts without getting the cookie.
Okay.
The cookie must be eaten first
Hey.
to know if you want to keep the cookie
Oh God.
or you want to move to the next
They
cookie.
still eat the cookie and don't want to keep it. So what are you talking about?
Not most times, though. Not most times.
They do. Okay, so
Not most
yeah, so a
times.
lot of what you just said, I agree. I agree with. Um, there's a lot of things currently in the culture that makes it easier for people to access dates and to court. Um, and yeah, so what I appreciate in those instances from some men, that if they're upfront and honest about what it is that they're looking for, what their intention is, it gives me an opportunity as a woman to make a decision. Because if I'm not looking for anything, if I'm just looking for something casual, if I'm just looking for someone to like just spend time with, and then like whenever I need my back itch, they can scratch my back for me. You know what I mean? Like if that's the kind of setup that I want, and that's the kind of setup that he wants, and we have a mutual understanding as far as what it is, then that's fine. And then that's okay. If that's the kind of setup you want, that's fine. But I think the challenge that I see as a woman dating today is that there are some women that are looking for um, something substantial, something of value as far as a connection with a guy, but the guy is only just looking to, attain the cookie, put his hand in the cookie jar. That's all he wants. But that's why I said in the beginning, like, if a guy asks you, like, what it is you're looking for in a relationship, don't tell him, because he's going to do all of the things, especially if he's narcissistic. He's going to do all of the things to give you what it is you say you want so that you can be comfortable and you can give him what he wants. And then once he has achieved and attained that thing from you, you have now transferred the power to him. So as far as like, access to him, seeing him, spending time, courting, he now holds control over all of that because he's now gotten from you that precious prize. But I think it's funny how you always keep going back to the whole body count thing. And we can have a conversation about body count until the cows come home or the chicken and the rooster starts crowing, whatever the analogy is. And it's going to depend on the man. There's some men that really don't care what a woman's sexual past is within reason. Let me just say that within reason. Like, um, I don't know of any man that would be, jumping over your gate if you have professed to have slept with 300 men. And again, I don't know all the men in the world. There may still be a guy out there. There may still be a guy that genuinely wants to be with you and wants to share a life with you, knowing that you've had a past like that. So when it comes to like body count and you mentioning like, a woman has lost her value based on the number of people that she slept with, again, that is subjective. It just depends on the person. If you as a man, um you assess value in a woman based on the number of people that she's slept with, that's your kind of requirement, expectation. That's on you. But to kind of paint that brush for all women is not a fair assessment, because there's other men out here in the world that could care less. How many people that you've entertained sexually. All they care about is what's going on right now. So everyone, your way of adding value or assessing value to someone is based on your perspective and is subjective to you. So just bear that in mind. But going back to what you're talking about with like social media, I agree with you on that as well. Like social media makes it a lot easier to not court people.
Yeah.
Because especially if you're the kind of person that puts pretty much all of your life on social media, people can kind of surmise what they think they know about you.
Yeah.
So like it kind of takes away the mystery of who you are as a person, because they look at your pictures, they look at your content, and they kind of create this persona of who they think you are. So like, what are your thoughts about like um, the effects of social media when it comes to like courting, and do you feel that um, in today's dating culture that social media is a detriment to courting, or it actually helps? Like, what are your opinion about that?
What I think is like, I think social media helps the guys. If I mean, it favors guys and it favors some women,
Okay.
because we guys are not like united like women's are.
What do you mean by that?
Meaning like, women's talk,
Mm-hmm.
and they like whenever the situation is gonna affect the woman, women's come together and talk and fight for that.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Whether it's good or bad, right?
Yeah.
Women's are together.
Okay.
Even they might not tell each other the truth, right? But they're together.
Okay.
Guys, we're like differentiated. We're not together. Everybody's doing their own stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's where you find that um a group of guys saying this is good and a group of guys saying this is bad.
Mm-hmm.
So you have that division in guys.
Okay.
That's why one was the day guys will stand up and say we are done, fight and do something. That's when all this relationship chaos is gonna change, right?
Okay.
But that's another topic for another day.
Okay.
So back to social media, right?
Mm-hmm.
Social media makes it easy for the guys
Okay.
because I remember those days when you see a girl, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
courting, you doing a whole, and you take her 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 dates, 100 dates, and you spend the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But because of we guys, we are kind of wired that once we set our mind on something, we go all the way.
Okay.
So you see a guy spending money, and you like, why are you doing this? Leave that girl alone. She's eating your money. You're doing too much. Like, don't worry, I'm doing. And the guy is struggling.
Mm.
He's suffering, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's doing all he can to make her happy. And maybe it takes a month, 2 months. I've seen guys caught for 2 years, 3 years,
Wow.
and then they finally get the cookie. And then he's looking at this. Is this what I'm suffering for?
My God.
And then he's looking at it, and then he don't call her again.
Oh goodness.
He blocks her, and he's mad with himself.
That's persistent.
Because he's asking himself, why did I foolishly do this?
Yeah.
Because we don't reason that time. Once we get the cookie, that's when our common sense comes in.
Hi, yeah.
And then we see that we've been messing ourselves up for all this time. Right? So now social media makes it more easy.
Okay.
Where you can, talk with her, talk and don't spend money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Build a communication.
Yeah.
Because women value presence of a man
Mm.
and time. You give her that time on social media, she gets off of work, you check on her, how was work, you talk.
Mm-hmm.
You show her that concern when you're talking to 4 or 5 other girls,
Mm-hmm.
showing the same concern, right?
Yeah.
They might be the same messages.
My God. Copy and paste.
Yes.
Hi,
And
yeah.
then you doing that, and you inside maybe you're talking to 10 girls, right? For the week, right?
Oh my
Inside
God.
those 10 girls you're gonna get at least no less than 1 or 2 girls.
I don't like those odds, you
That's
guys.
gonna like, okay, you know what? How can I want to meet you up and how can we
I hope I'm not part of no text chain. Copy paste.
so
Lord Jesus.
it makes it easier on the guys where the end game we get the cookies, right?
Okay.
Now, before a guy will 100% know if he wants to be with you,
Mm-hmm.
our future is after the cookie.
Sure.
You get what I'm saying? When a guy meets you the first time, he likes you,
Mm-hmm.
but the mindset is the cookie first.
Okay.
After he gets the cookie, and then he can start looking at you in the morning and know if he wants to continue this or not. That's when the power shifts to us.
Mm-hmm.
That's when the girl is like listening on her phone. Oh, did he text me? Not yet. Did he text me? Not yet. Did he call me? Not yet.
It's terrible.
24 hours is gone. She's checking her phone every 1 hour. Did he text me? And then after 2 days, he don't. All right.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? So